Welcome to our story time. Today, before we start, we're going to share a song about colors. We good? Just checking to make sure that we're okay. Okay, so welcome to Storytime. I'm librarian Phyllis, and I will be sharing a story with you. And before that, we just want to sing a song about colors, and you can participate with us. If you're wearing red, red, red. If you're wearing red, touch your head. If you're wearing orange, orange, orange. If you're wearing orange, touch your ears. If you're wearing yellow, yellow, yellow. If you're wearing yellow, touch your shoulders. If you're wearing green, green, green. If you're wearing green, clap your hands. If you're wearing blue, blue, blue. If you're wearing blue, touch your knees. If you're wearing purple, purple, purple. If you're wearing purple, shout hooray, hooray. And today we're going to share Harold and the Purple Crayon. It was one of my favorite stories when I was younger. One evening, after thinking it over some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight, and he needed something to walk on. He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost, and he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path, so he left the path for a shortcut across the field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightened dragon. It even frightened Harold, and he backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. He was scared. Suddenly he realized what was happening. But by then Harold was over his head in an ocean. Oh no, what is Harold gonna do? He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on a beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and he thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing but pies, but there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. Yummy. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the further he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the windows of his bedroom. He was tired, and he felt like he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But he looked down over the other side. He slipped, and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Oh no! But luckily, he kept his wits about and his purple crayon. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from his balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see his house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think of where his window ought to be. He made some more windows, and he made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think of where it ought to be. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his bedroom and in his bed. And then suddenly Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right in front of the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. And that was Harold and the purple crayon. And boys and girls, you can make your own Harold and the purple crayon stories. You can just take a purple crayon and you can use pen or a crayon and you can draw a picture and then you can tell the story and create your own. I hope you enjoyed Storytime.